رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. Look at these two very similar verses in the Qur'an, one from chapter number 11, Surah Hud, verse 22, which says, لا جرم أنهم في الآخرة هم الأخسرون. Assuredly it is they in the hereafter who will be the greatest losers. Very similar verse, almost a very similar verse in the Quran. This is chapter 11 and this is chapter number 16, verse 109. It says, لا جرم أنهم في الآخرة هم الخاسرون. Assuredly it is they in the hereafter who will be the losers. Almost the same words, right? لا جرم أنهم في الآخرة هم الأخسرون, the greatest losers. لا جرم أنهم في الآخرة هم الخاسرون. So the first verse says they will be the greatest losers, the worst of all the losers, the greatest of them. This verse says they will be the losers, not the worst, not the greatest, just the losers. Now what you have to do is, I'll tell you the beauty of this difference. All you have to do is notice the description of these losers. As I read it, notice the difference between them, and you will the beauty itself will reveal itself to you. So I'll read the description of the greatest losers to you first, and focus on their description, what kind of people they are. So this was verse 22. I will start reading from verse number 18. And who is more unjust than he who invents a lie about Allah? Meaning, they are the worst, the most unjust people, right? On the extremity. And look at the crime, the greatest crime, inventing lie about Allah. A huge crime, right? Then, the next verse says, who averted people from the way of Allah. They are now not just themselves being misguided, they are misguiding others as well, right? And then, they were not causing failure to Allah on earth. It is as though they are coming up against Allah. And they have no protectors besides Allah. For them the punishment will be multiplied. They were not able to hear, nor did they see. They are the ones who have lost themselves. Who can be a worse loser than the one who has lost himself? Right? And lost from them is what they used to invent. La jaram. Assuredly they are the greatest losers. Now you read the description of the greatest losers. Now I want you to focus on the description of the losers, to see the beauty between them. This was verse number 109. I'm going to start reading from verse number 106. Whoever disbelieves in Allah, he's not creating a lie this time. He's not inventing a lie against Allah. Simply disbelieving in Allah, right? He's himself disbelieving in Allah. He's not going a step ahead and cursing Allah or inventing lies against him, right? Upon them is the wrath of Allah, etc., right? That is because they preferred the worldly life over the hereafter. Now it is themselves who are being misguided. They are not misguiding others. Rather, they themselves are preferring the worldly life over the hereafter. And Allah does not guide the disbelieving people. Those are the ones whose hearts and hearing Allah has sealed, and it is they who are the heedless. Assuredly, they are in the hereafter who will be the Subhanallah. You saw in Surah Hud, the people, first of all, were inventing lies against Allah, right? It says who's more unjust, meaning they are the most unjust, and their crime is huge. They're inventing lies against Allah. Here, they're simply disbelieving in Allah, not inventing lies against Allah. Secondly, their crime is that they themselves love the worldly life. But the worst losers, they are averting others from the way of Allah, subhanallah, and their punishment will be multiplied as well. The crime is more heinous, the crime is far worse, therefore the punishment accordingly is the greatest losers. Al-Akhsarun. Here the crime is not that big as it was there, therefore the losers. Subhanallah. Now you saw, in language it doesn't matter. You could say they are the greatest losers, or here you could say they are losers. It doesn't matter. In language it doesn't matter. But the context, it matters in the context. You have almost the same words. La jarama annahum fil akhirati humul akhsarun humul khasirun. Nobody would care. There's a separation of 16 and 11, 5 chapters, and the Quran, being revealed over 23 years. Nobody would really care, right? But the precision of the Quran, it is as though it's creating this pattern, and these gems are perfectly placed in this beautiful pattern that gives it the beauty. You remove one from the other place, the beauty is distorted, it's destroyed. That's the beauty of the Quran, and that's what makes it divine. right? Nothing is out of its place. Every single gem is perfectly placed in this design of Allah. That, by the way, never changed in the last 1400 years, and yet it keeps on revealing to us its beauty, these beautiful gems, subhanallah, in the design. So may Allah give us complete conviction in the Qur'an as the word of God, and may He give us the conviction that this book cannot be written by any human being. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.